Hi, this is Michal, Bardavid. We're in Cappadocia, Turkey right now. We're going to take you live to a very special application of an exercise called Brain Breaks. We're at the Conference for Physical Education and Sports Sciences. It's the 5th one taking place. It's an international event. We're here in Cappadocia. There are experts from the field here. We have doctors, we have teachers, academics, everyone who's interested from the field that has been really experts in the field in physical activity, and they're really discussing the latest developments in this field in sports sciences and what's happening around the world, and finding ways, discussing ways to boost physical activity, why it's important, and how we can really do this, especially for young people all around the world. Now, I have a special guest with me, Tom Root. He's the CEO of HOPSports from a company in the United States. Thank you very much for joining me, Tom.
Thank you for having me.
So let's begin. First of all, let's introduce you. Who are you and what do you do?
So I've been in the training business for about 25 years, started off in the entertainment business and working with professional athletes, and then really got a passion about kids. And about 15 years ago, I started really focusing on improving the health of kids. We had an epidemic of obesity all over the world, and trying to find new techniques that we could promote for more physical activity in the schools.
Okay, and that's really the main idea here, just to promote physical activity all around the world for kids. Tell us why this is important.
Well, for your health and for the economic future of a lot of different countries, the impact that poor health has on so many different institutions in your country really is a prevailing fact of why we have to get kids moving all over the world.
And in terms of health, because I mean, everyone, you go to the doctor and they tell you, you need to move, you need to do exercise. What kind of benefits are there? Why is this so important?
So there's a lot of benefits to activity just beyond the physical aspect of it. We now know that in children, physical activity also has a tremendous impact on their readiness to learn, their cognitive readiness to learn, and also their behavior. So when we really are talking about movement, we're talking about the overall impact that it has on a child's overall well-being.
And I mean, this is really in this time of day. I mean, in terms of the digital world, we're seeing children not really being so active. They're not very playful anymore, and that's really kind of sad to see, honestly. So we see a lot of them, facing the screen all the time. So what kind of things are you discussing in this conference?
So we're looking at different techniques that we can actually embrace some of the digital technology that they're using to help promote activity. So part of Brain Breaks was, could we provide these 2 to 3 minute sessions that would introduce them to a lot of different types of techniques where kids might not have been exposed to dance or outdoor sports, and through those short bits of brain breaks, then we could hopefully get them to engage and go out and play. Because at the end of the day, we don't want them out having a lot of screen time.
So, I mean, tell us how you developed Brain Breaks. So, why the idea came up. That's part of, I mean, it's a registered brand of HOPSports, right? Explain to us.
So the main reason we developed Brain Breaks was to find alternative methods that we could get more activity throughout the day when kids were in school. And we knew that there was this tremendous amount of time in the classroom where kids were sitting. So we found out that if we could break up the day and provide these short bouts of activity, we can, at the end of the day, incorporate more physical activity throughout the day. And that was the original plan in terms of how much activity we can get in the day, because that's where we're really trying to achieve, is to get an hour of play. That's kind of the golden rule, is 60 minutes of play a day.
And I mean, is this for children at all ages? I mean, how does it work?
Yeah, for children of all ages. So K through 12 is what we're really looking at. And then you saw an earlier speech on the importance that higher education and students in college, where they need just as much activity. So it was really a program developed to look at movement from preschool all the way up to college.
And so how does the system work in terms of, because I know you're reaching a lot of kids, millions of kids are now participating in these brain breaks around the world. How has that happened?
So through a lot of relationships and conferences and figuring out how to stream digital content into the classrooms, and more importantly, working with academic institutions all over the world that were assisting us in not only creating content, but making sure we were culturally relevant and then being our boots on the ground in that country.
And how many countries really now have that right now?
So we're in 73 countries around the world, affecting almost 3 million kids every week.
And when you say it's culturally important, how is that different from culture to culture when you're talking about exercise?
Well, in dance or certain gestures. So one of the things that we always want to be cautious about is certain movements mean different things in different cultures. So by working with the universities and the students, we're always able to make sure that the movement or the dance that we might be providing from another country to introduce that culture in that country is respectful.
And so now a lot of people have started using this, and you're also providing this free for many schools around the world. Why is that important?
Well, because we know the impact that health is going to have, and by just getting kids moving and with working with other individuals, it was something that we could provide to schools all over the world for free. And we've been very fortunate through a lot of governments and federal and corporate grants to help subsidize that cost for us.
And I was going to ask you really about how governments have been responding, because this is also something that we are seeing different countries all around the world are in need, because obesity is not just something that one specific country is dealing with right now as a major problem for children. So how have different governments been implementing this?
Well, everybody's different, as you know, but one of the great things is that the UN has stepped in. And so when you look at the reports coming out with the World Health Organization, UNESCO, everybody, there isn't a country really that doesn't have some impact of health on their younger demographics. So to get buy-in was relatively easy for us. Matter of fact, the real epidemics in diabetes, believe it or not, is in Southeast Asia.
That's interesting. You really wouldn't expect that. And so, okay, tell us about the United Nations, because we know that you're working together with them. There is a partnership between HOPSports and the UN. How is that working?
So with the organization, the UNGSSII and the UNOP, we're collaborating on really expanding to the SDGs, because the Sustainable Development Goals are also another building block of how we're looking at health, how we're looking at other issues that impact the well-being of a child, the environmental issues, the nutritional impact, career opportunities, gender equality. So it really allowed us to expand, take that same model of providing these 2 to 3 minute bouts of information and really address a much wider issue.
Okay, that sounds amazing, seriously. And I think that's a way to have a lot of impact globally. But I think now inside the conference we're going to see brain breaks in action. So we're going to see how brain breaks are done. We're going to see a 2-3 minute video of the brain breaks, and because physical activity is the main issue that's being discussed here, we're going to be seeing an example of brain breaks being done. So let's go down so that we can actually participate in the brain breaks that is going to happen right now. So the participants of this conference are all going to be joining an example of brain breaks, and we're going to be joining them. We're also going to be doing the brain breaks together with them. So yeah, let's see how that goes. All right, we're just going to set up here. All right. Oh.
Where do you want us all right?
I think if you can just stand here. Okay. Okay, we're just going to watch and participate in a brain breaks right now.
Fantastic.
And on the stage we're seeing 3 students because we're in a university right now. So they're going to be doing the instruction of brain breaks. 감사합니다. Okay. So that was an example of brain breaks. We really got to enjoy the brain breaks. It was been a long conference, lectures back to back. So actually we just got to experience how it feels to take a break and just enjoy ourselves, do a little bit of movement, right?
And that's how it was exciting. We got our heart rate up and we're ready now to roll for the rest of the day.
Exactly. And how was it for you, Minkai?
I think it's great, especially with all the movement, all the excitement. After they sit in for a long time and they take a break, and it is refreshing and movement.
Perfect. And Mr. Minkai is also the advisor for this conference, and you're also working with the GCH, the Global Community Health.
Yes.
So one of the pioneers in this field right now. I want to thank you for making this happen for us, because you're one of the people really promoting brain breaks and exercise all around the world. So thank you. It was really a pleasure. Thank you so much, Tom, for joining us.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. So that's basically the end of our live. We got to talk about exercise and how important it is, physical activity, how important that is. And we got to really enjoy, take a break and experience what brain breaks was like. Thanks for joining us.